I know that our district currently receives more constituent contact about homelessness than any other topic. We have several encampments that contain many people experiencing homelessness. Our governor and mayor have both referred to those encampments in the last few days. The encampments are already at a tipping point, including firearms and fatalities. And so when I hear that people will be referred to various agencies, I get concerned for my constituents. And so on behalf of the people I represent, are we just hoping that we can absorb the additional 300 people from National Western into our existing services and supports, or are we providing additional services and supports? Will we see something in the next few weeks, or will we see more people in the encampments in District 10 in the next few days or in the next few weeks?
Thank you, Councilman.
And I know that's tough. I'm sorry, but I've got to ask because they'll ask me.
No, it's a reasonable question. So our focus is on moving out of facilities, and so we are identifying to every guest within the current facilities options that are available to them upon standing down that facility, and are making those recommendations as we speak. The operation to empty those facilities is starting now with caseworkers with Denver Rescue Mission talking with guests at National Western Center about some of the smaller programs that may fit them in a deeper way and making those referrals continuously. Our movements as we empty the Coliseum, those movements will be rather contained. So we're focused on being able to serve the current guests, making sure that no guests within the Denver Coliseum or the National Western Center will be simply referred back to the streets or into neighboring communities. So our mission right now is to make sure that we're approaching all guests who are accessing those services right now with an option that'll occur in lockstep with the stand down of those facilities, if not earlier. We will not stop encountering people who are sleeping in communities or sleeping outside with those referral options as well along the way. In fact, we'll continue to refer folks who may be in need tonight to National Western Center for accommodations for tonight, and begin working with them similarly and just as equally to make sure that they aren't left without indoor space to go to upon closure of National Western. Is that helpful?
Yes. So related question, I believe that we have not fully allocated the individual hotel and motel rooms so far in our inventory. Do we have at least space for 300 more individual rooms in our inventory?
So thank you for that question. The motel rooms that we're deploying right now, incidentally, account for about 1/3 of all the people that we accommodate overnight. So 1 in 3 individuals roughly are being taken off the streets and placed into motel. Those motels that we've deployed, the strength of that resource is only as strong as the reimbursement, the federal reimbursement criteria. So there's 2 kind of buckets of motels that we see the biggest breadth of resource to: activated respite for individuals that we can identify a positive COVID case to make sure that they're not carrying that disease into communal environments, as well as protective action. The front end barriers of a protective action motel start with an underlying condition or being age 65 and older. So for a number of individuals that we're serving, say, a 35-year-old for all self-reporting purposes is not reporting an underlying condition, we would not be able to leverage that motel, even if it existed towards that case, while still obtaining reimbursement. I do want to say, though, that a bit over half of the women who are vacating the Denver Coliseum will move into a motel room that's not FEMA associated, so has a bit more flexibility to our needs there. And we will be able to use that motel stock, roughly, I think it's 96 rooms, to be able to move women currently in the Coliseum into motel.
So you mentioned that about a third of the population of people that Denver supports are in hotel or motel, individual unit vouchers. What is so it made me think, what is the percentage of people that Denver supports versus the point in time count that Denver and advocate groups took in, was it the end of January?
Yeah, that's pre-COVID, and I have yet to kind of sit with the data from the point in time count and blend it to a very new reality of our pandemic, to kind of see what's the scale of service being offered compared to what was identified within the point in time. The point in time did identify a dramatic increase in unsheltered homelessness in city of Denver. So we're continuing to look at that, and that was before the pandemic occurred. So we're continuing to look at that and identify resources that way. One thing that I would say is that we have never been more successful at bringing people inside, and we've never placed as many people into motel as a solution as we have now, at least not in my memory. And yet we see a strong growth in unsheltered homelessness on the streets as well.
So the last question I'd have, and I could ask you questions all night, so I don't want to bug you. Do you have any thoughts or comments on Denver Homeless Out Loud's recent point? They did their own point in time count, and their count was more recent, as in the last couple of weeks, and they found a significantly higher number. It could be related to COVID. I just wanted to see if Host had any thoughts on D-Hole's point in time count.
No, I appreciate their effort to be out there doing a tent count and speaking with individuals within encampments as well. That it exceeded the January point in time count wasn't too surprising to me either. I know that as we stood up 24/7 more residentially placed shelters that were equipped with medical screening, I think a lot of people in homelessness voted with their feet to seize upon those resources, seize upon what we were able to offer. I also think that we've seen impacts of unemployment and impacts of health that we have yet to kind of translate into data and make a causal relationship to. But from my instinct, it wouldn't surprise me if we've seen a lot of newly homeless arrive to the streets as well.
Well, with the expiration of both the $600 a week unemployment benefits and the expiration of the eviction moratorium, I can only imagine you are correct. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman.